Today we're making a reference card for our travel water kit, a watercolor kit. Typically they come in a case. This is my largest one and this is my smallest one. And as you can see, I even have a tiny reference card in here for colors. It's upside down. This will be some tips. You need to cut out a card that is smaller than your case, and if you think you can't make it that small, you can. Next, this is 140-pound paper. However, I have made it with 90-pound paper. It doesn't take a lot of water, so it doesn't really, it doesn't curl. As you can see, this is not curled. I haven't even tried to flatten it.
My first tip, you can draw a grid with the rows and columns as your palette has, the same number of rows and columns your palette has. I chose not to draw the grid and just eyeball it. Now let's look at how to get the color on your reference card.
You can do it like this. This has worked for me. I tried doing it after the fact, the lightest color, but you generally just want to know what the color is in your paint. I mean, if you look at this purple and this purple, they don't look the same. This color looks almost like a black, but it's this blue color, this stormy looking blue color. And that's why you want to use these reference cards to get an idea of what the color is actually going to look like on the paper. I wanted to show you, this one has the darkest pigment that you can get, and this is the lightest pigment, and I thought I'd show you
how to get a dark, rich color. First, you will wet the brush filled with water. Then you will activate the pigment with the wet brush. And then I want you to dry the brush just by squeezing it with the rag. And although the brush is still damp, it just won't be filled with water. And then have the tip of the brush touch the activated pigment. And that is what you will use to make the color on the card.
The wash is a bit trickier. I think it could be tricky because I don't particularly like to work in that color, but what are you going to do? First of all, notice that there's a little space between the dark and the light. When you do it together, as you can see in this card, what happens is the light activates the dark, and then you don't get a good color. So take the pigment and put it, you don't need a lot because we're just making a little line. That's a lot. But then you want to pick up water and dilute it. I think that can be more diluted. And then what I try to do is pick up, there's two ways you can do it. This way, where you have the color on top and you're squeezing at the base here. I still don't like it though. And then I suck it up. And then you could put it on. And see, it comes out washed. This doesn't always work, and I don't like that it leaves a puddle of water there. So I'm going to show you with the next color how you can do it. Let me activate, get the nice dark. By the way, you might notice on this, there is a white here for my white color. And you can't really see it. I do go over that under value and tone. It does work despite it not looking like it does. All right. So one of the issues with this getting it the right color, washed out color. So I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to bring the pigment here. dilute it a lot. And dilute it some more. Yeah, nice light color. So I'm going to pick it up with the pigment. See how it just soaks it up. And then I'm going to take this card and see I can wash it here and then put it here, and it's not as wet as this is. This is still wet. I could put a brush to that and it would soak the water up. And I will show you that. See, I didn't do anything but just gently put my brush across it to soak up the water. I think that could have been lighter too. And I could put water over it to get it. But it gives you a general idea of what it should look like when it's has a high value. So do that with the rest of your colors. And then you can, like I will probably finish it up to here, and you can trim down the size and use that as your reference card. Ideally, you want the darkest color for the top and the lightest color for the bottom, saturated with water. Okay, and this is corresponding to your palette. And that's it. Any questions, comments? Please put it in the link below.